Layering sounds simple, just add more clothes when it's cold. But in reality, piling on layers often makes people feel bulky, uncomfortable, and sometimes even colder. The reason is that not all layers work the same way. Some trap heat, some release it, and some quietly steal warmth without you noticing. Smart layering isn't about wearing more. It's about wearing layers that work together, especially in winter when you move between cold outdoors and warm indoor spaces. Start with the right base layer. The base layer is the foundation of warmth, and it's often the most misunderstood. Its main job isn't insulation, it's moisture control. Even in cold weather, your body produces sweat. If that moisture stays on your skin, heat escapes faster and you start feeling cold, sometimes minutes or hours later. A good base layer keeps your skin dry, which allows the rest of your clothing to do its job. Materials matter here. Wool, especially merino, works exceptionally well because it absorbs moisture vapor while still insulating. It keeps warmth stable instead of creating sudden temperature swings. Synthetic base layers also work by moving moisture away from the skin, drying quickly and staying lightweight. What they share is one key trait. They don't hold moisture against your body. Fit is just as important as fabric. A base layer should sit close to the skin without compressing it. Loose fabric traps pockets of damp air, while overly tight fabric can restrict circulation. Both reduce warmth. The goal is gentle contact, enough to manage moisture, but not enough to flatten insulation. This is also why wearing the wrong base layer can ruin an entire outfit. Even the warmest sweater or jacket won't help if moisture builds up underneath. When the base layer works, everything above it feels warmer with less effort. Avoid cotton as the first layer. Cotton feels comfortable, familiar, and harmless, which is exactly why it causes so many winter layering problems. As a first layer, cotton works against warmth instead of supporting it. The issue isn't breathability, but moisture. Cotton absorbs sweat quickly and holds onto it, staying damp far longer than most people realize. Even indoors, your body releases moisture. During a walk, a short commute, or light movement, cotton quietly absorbs sweat and traps it against your skin. At first, everything feels fine. But once you stop moving or the temperature drops slightly, that moisture begins pulling heat away from your body. This delayed chill is one of the most common reasons people feel cold even when wearing multiple layers. Cotton also collapses under pressure. When you sit, lean, or layer other clothes on top, cotton fabric lies flat and loses any ability to trap insulating air. Without air pockets, warmth escapes easily. This is especially noticeable in cotton t-shirts, long sleeves, and leggings worn as base layers. Another hidden issue is how cotton affects the layers above it. When moisture builds up in the first layer, the middle and outer layers have to work harder to compensate. This often leads to overheating during movement and feeling cold during rest, a cycle that makes winter clothing feel unpredictable. Cotton isn't a bad fabric overall. It's comfortable, soft, and useful in many situations. But as a base layer in winter, it consistently undermines warmth. Replacing cotton with a moisture-managing fabric is one of the simplest ways to feel warmer, without adding extra layers. Use the middle layer to trap air. The middle layer is where real insulation happens. Its main purpose is to trap warm air and hold it close to your body. Unlike the base layer, which manages moisture, the middle layer is responsible for creating a stable thermal buffer between you and the cold. This layer works best when it has structure. Fabrics like wool, fleece, or thick knit blends naturally create space within the fabric. That space fills with warm air and slows heat loss. The more consistently that air is held in place, the warmer you feel, especially when you're sitting still or exposed to colder air. Fit matters here too. A middle layer should not cling tightly to the body, but it shouldn't be oversized either. If it's too tight, it flattens the fabric and reduces insulation. If it's too loose, air moves too freely and warmth escapes. The goal is a relaxed fit that allows the fabric to maintain its loft. This is also the layer people often overdo. Wearing multiple bulky middle layers can backfire by compressing everything underneath. One well-chosen insulating layer usually performs better than several thin ones stacked together. Indoors, the middle layer becomes even more important because movement is limited. When your body isn't generating much heat, trapped air does the work for you. A good middle layer keeps warmth steady without causing overheating, making it the quiet hero of smart winter layering. Don't overdo the outer layer indoors. The outer layer is designed to protect you from wind, rain, and cold air, not to be worn at full strength indoors. One of the most common winter mistakes is keeping heavy outer layers on for too long once you're inside. While it may feel warm at first, this often leads to overheating, sweating, and eventually feeling colder than before. Indoors, the role of the outer layer changes. You no longer need protection from wind, and excessive insulation can trap too much heat too quickly. When your body overheats, it responds by releasing moisture. That moisture builds up in the base and middle layers, and once the outer layer comes off or you sit still, the cooling effect is immediate and uncomfortable. Another issue is compression. Heavy jackets, coats, or thick hoodies press down on the layers underneath, flattening the insulating air pockets that keep you warm. Instead of adding warmth, they reduce the effectiveness of the entire system. This is why people often feel cold again shortly after taking off a coat indoors. A smarter approach is to scale the outer layer to the environment. Outdoors, a structured, wind-resistant layer makes sense. Indoors, a lighter outer layer such as a cardigan, soft jacket, or unlined shell allows warmth to stay balanced. This lets the middle layer do its job without interference. The outer layer should support the system, not dominate it. When you adjust it based on where you are, warmth becomes more stable and predictable, without the cycle of overheating and cooling that makes winter layering frustrating. Adjust layers for sitting versus moving. One of the biggest mistakes in winter layering is treating all situations the same. Your body behaves very differently when you're moving compared to when you're sitting still. Layering that feels perfect while walking or doing chores can suddenly fail once you stop and settle down. When you move, your muscles generate heat. Blood circulation increases, and your body can tolerate lighter layers. In these moments, too much insulation causes overheating and sweating, even in cold environments. That moisture may not feel noticeable at first, but it becomes a problem later. Once you sit down, heat production drops quickly. Circulation slows, especially in the legs, feet, and lower back. If your layers are designed only for movement, they stop working. This is why people often feel cold after sitting at a desk, on the couch, or in a car, even if they were warm minutes earlier. Smart layering accounts for both states. For movement, layers should be breathable and flexible, allowing excess heat to escape. For sitting, layers need structure and insulation that can maintain warmth without relying on body heat generation. This often means adding or adjusting a middle layer when you stop moving, rather than piling on heavy outer layers. Another overlooked detail is pressure. Sitting compresses clothing around the hips, thighs, and lower back, areas critical for warmth. Fabrics that rebound after pressure, like wool knits or blended insulation, perform far better than materials that flatten permanently. A small adjustment, such as an extra insulating layer for the lower body or a warm cardigan for rest periods, can make a big difference. Understanding this shift between movement and rest is what turns basic layering into smart layering. When your clothing adapts with you, warmth stays consistent, without constant discomfort or adjustment.